Assalamu alaikum. This video is related to direct and inverse proportion. So before solving any direct or inverse proportion question, you need to understand what is direct proportion and what is inverse proportion. So when two quantities are directly related, when an increase in first quantity leads to increase in the second quantity, and a decrease in first quantity leads to decrease in the second quantity, right? So when we have a same trend, for example, if one quantity is increasing and it leads to increase in the second quantity as well, or a decrease in the first quantity leads to decrease in the second quantity, this is called direct proportion. And to represent the direct proportion, we have a presentation by arrows, and it will definitely help you out to solve any kind of question related to direct or inverse. So direction of arrows will be same, either upward or downward. For example, if a quantity is increasing, so it will leads to increase in the second quantity, so both arrows will be upward. And when there is a decrease in the first quantity, it leads to decrease in the second quantity, you will place downward arrows for both quantities. And inverse proportion, this is the definition: when two quantities are inversely related, so these two conditions must be applicable. The first condition is an increase in the first quantity leads to decrease in the second quantity, or a decrease in first quantity leads to increase in the second quantity, right? So the relationship between two quantities, if the relationship between two quantities is inverse, so the direction of the arrows will be opposite, because an increase in the first quantity leads to decrease in the second quantity, or when there is a decrease in the first quantity, it will lead to increase in the second quantity. And the presentation of the arrows for inverse proportion is opposite direction of the arrows will be different, either upward and downward. For example, if a quantity is increasing, definitely the second quantity will decrease, and if the first quantity is decreasing, the second quantity will increase. So if there is an increase, you will place upward arrow, and decrease for decrease downward. So to understand these things, we have an example. A car uses 40 liters of petrol to travel 340 kilometer. Find distance if it has 32 liters of petrol. Means we need to find out that how many kilometers it will travel if a car has only 32 liters of petrol, and if a car travels 340 kilometer in 40 liters. So to solve this type of question, first of all we need to figure out that it's a direct or inverse proportion. So to figure out the relationship, we need to make two columns. The first column will be petrol, and the second column will be related to distance, because we have two quantities in this question. The first quantity is petrol and the second is distance. So according to the given criteria, in 40 liters a car will travel 340 kilometer, and how many kilometers it will travel in 32 liters. So when I fill the columns according to the given criteria, so it's time to place the arrows. So I know that the quantity of petrol is decreasing, so definitely the distance will be will be decreased as compared to 340 because of this petrol. So after placing the arrows, I will make a relationship between these two quantities with the help of arrowhead technique, right? So as you are seeing that in this first quantity, the arrowhead is towards the 32, right? So I will write 32 upward and 40 as a denominator, and I will equate it to the second quantity, which is x by 340, because arrowhead of this arrow is towards x. So I will write x as a numerator and 340 as a denominator. After applying the concept of cross multiplication, you can easily find out the value of x, which is equals to 272 kilometers. It means the car will travel 272 kilometers in 32 liters of petrol. Thank you.